Marvel Comics are releasing some of their upcoming publishing initiatives within the later part of 2024, getting into August and September. And it appears they have some pretty damn big plans for a character named Deadpool, who has been kind of languishing as of late, really been languishing for several years now. But the creator of Deadpool is coming back for one last stand with the character. We've also got a celebration for the Iron Fist, the real Iron Fist, which will also include a little bit of a celebration of the new Iron Fist that nobody really cares about or likes. And we've also got a big event coming out, Venom War, which we talked about here on the channel, but now we have some details regarding the creators. And let's just say it's not very pretty. Certainly not as pretty as Rob Liefeld returning to Deadpool for one last time, or Chris Claremont on Iron Fist, or some of the other creators there. The lineup for Venom War, not very strong, but we shall get to that. First up, we need to talk about the old Deadpool character. Over 30 years after creating Deadpool, Rob Liefeld is again returning to the character for an all-new epic team-up series that he is writing and drawing that Liefeld stated earlier this year will be his final Deadpool story. The series will feature the Merc with the Mouth teaming up with a mixture of famous and less famous heroes like the Hulk, Wolverine, Ghost Spider, Crystar, and Major X, all due to a lost Marvel character. The series will be titled Deadpool Team-Up and will run 5 issues starting on August 28th. And we'd heard this earlier in the year that Rob Liefeld stated that he was going to retire from Deadpool altogether, probably his most famous creation ever in comic books. Although Rob Liefeld has had many very famous creations, especially in Marvel comic books, Deadpool does stand the test of time. We've got the Deadpool and Wolverine movie coming out. It does not surprise that they want to have something hard-hitting that people are actually going to want to read featuring the Deadpool character. I don't think Cody Ziegler's current Deadpool run is going to do it. He's basically picking up on all the stupid things that Alyssa Wong had done on that series. And I do think this will juice the character in. Deadpool Team-Up basically always works. You get Rob Liefeld on there doing the covers, and he'll likely write and draw a pretty damn good Deadpool series as well. So it should be a lot of fun. And I do think this is an important series. Also of note, remember when they were talking about all the rumors regarding the X-Men from the Ashes reboot, and there was the big rumor out there that Rob Liefeld was returning to Deadpool, and people were like, see, you stupid idiot, Rob Liefeld isn't even going to be on Deadpool. Well, apparently he was. Apparently, people were conflating Rob Liefeld being on this Deadpool team-up series with him being part of X-Men from the Ashes, but technically it will be an X-Men book. So I do feel vindicated about those rumors that people are like, you're an idiot. You believed a bunch of crap, because basically like 60-70% of all the other rumors ended up being true. So I guess that source was mostly correct in the end. But this should do very, very well. I'm not the only one that's going to be excited to see Deadpool and Hulk team up. Rob Liefeld also illustrating Hulk. Yes, please. Rob Liefeld also illustrating Wolverine on a Deadpool team-up series. Yes, please. Ghost Spider? Who cares? That's a nothing character, but I guess she has been recently introduced or shoved into like a tight sphincter. They just pushed her right into the Marvel 616, even though it didn't belong there. And then Major X, that's the last major miniseries that I can remember Rob Liefeld really doing at Marvel Comics. And I know Doc liked it, but I don't know. It was fine. Will Sportasio did do some of the interiors on that one, but it wasn't like spectacular. I don't care that we're going to see a Deadpool Major X team up thing. I remember Deadpool being in Major X or whatever, but it will be nice seeing Rob Liefeld return to the character. And do I believe that this is his retirement from the character and that he'll never write or illustrate a Deadpool story again? I find it very hard to believe, because Marvel Comics at some point are going to realize, hey, we need somebody with some drawing power that can actually sell a comic book. And they're going to reach out to Rob Liefeld and they're going to say, hey, can you do a Cable book? Can you do a Deadpool book? And if the money is right, I can't imagine him not coming back, as long as he's still able to illustrate and do a good job. But it seems like Rob Liefeld is aging like fine wine. He's just getting better over time. So there's that big news. We've also got big news on the Iron Fist front. The Kung Fu hero Iron Fist is celebrating his 50th anniversary in Marvel Comics, as the one-shot anthology Iron Fist 50th Anniversary Special Number 1 tells a series of short stories from the life of the living weapon of Kunlun. Chris Claremont and Lon Medina will tell an early years tale in which Iron Fist works with Wolverine. Justina Ireland and Elena Casagrande will bring back iconic allies, the Daughters of the Dragon. Frank Thierry and artist Ty Templeton will reunite Danny with the Heroes for Hire. And Jason Liu and Will Sportasio will look to the future and what may be next for Danny. The collection will also include a story from Melissa Wong and Vaughn Randall following Lin Lee, the former Swordmaster and current Iron Fist in Marvel Comics. And I do think it's pretty ridiculous to say that Lin Lee is the current Iron Fist, considering we haven't seen the character in a few years now. It's never mentioned, and no one even associates the character with being Iron Fist. Swordmaster was actually a pretty decent character. Didn't need to be Iron Fist. And then putting Alyssa Wong on an Iron Fist miniseries just to remove the mantle from Danny Rand and place it on an Asian character was just a really bad idea. While Iron Fist is certainly iconic and very, very cool, probably doesn't have the gravitas to just work on every Tom, Dick, and Harry within the Marvel Comics universe. Certainly the headliner there is Chris Claremont and Lon Medina telling an early on story with Iron Fist. Should be a whole lot of fun. Justina Ireland, I guess, is some type of award-winning like sci-fi writer, but based off of Spider-Man Blood Hunt, is not a very good comic book writer. I think I've read one other thing from Justina Ireland. It might have been Star Wars, and that was really bad as well, so wouldn't expect too much out of there, although Elena Casagrande is a pretty good artist, especially if you can get Jordi Belair on the comic book to color it. She makes Elena Casagrande's art look much, much better. Frank Thierry with Ty Templeton, Heroes for Hire, should be a whole lot of fun. I love Heroes for Hire. And then Jason Liu and Whilce Portacio. Jason Liu wrote that Sentry story that was really, really bad, but it is Whilce Portacio, and I guess it's looking to the future of Danny Rand. I'm assuming that's a future without the Iron Fist, which I don't think is a future whatsoever for the character, and probably not all that smart, but we got to have Lin Lee, the Swordmaster, as Iron Fist, because only Asian characters can have Kung Fu superpowers, even if they come from like a magic dragon egg and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'll look forward to this one, particularly the Chris Claremont story. I do like the idea of seeing Whilce Portacio on Iron Fist. So there's some good artists on there. Ty Templeton, certainly a good artist. But there's a bunch of bad writers in there. You know, Justina Ireland, Jason Liu, not very good. Certainly Alyssa Wong, terrible. So you got to take the good with the bad. And then finally, moving on to the Venom War, which we've talked about, but we have more details. Marvel Comics has released details surrounding their upcoming crossover Venom War, which kicks off August 7th with Venom War #1. The crossover will span Venom, a series of miniseries, and the main title. Creators behind the story include Al Ewing, Erica Schultz, Kevin Scott, Ivan Coelho, Luciano Vecchio, Juan Jose Rip, Torben Grunbeck, Perry Perez, Greg Land, Colin Kelly, and Jackson Lanzing in Kafu. So there goes all the excitement for Venom War. You know, at least it's still Al Ewing doing the main series, but he's not even going to be writing like Venom that ties into Venom War. That'll actually be Torben Grunbeck, who's a middling writer at best. I think she's been found wanting for the most part. Although I have heard at least from a couple of people say that they enjoy what she's done on Venom. I'm not one of them, but at least people did say that they liked it. You don't normally hear that with a lot of these other writers out there. Certainly the Ivan Coelho art will look spectacular on a character like Venom with Venom War. And if you're unfamiliar with what Venom War is going to be, so after the Donny Cates Venom run, where we hit King in Black, where Eddie Brock as Venom defeated the King in Black, and he became the King in Black himself, and then the Venom symbiote actually went to his son, Dylan Brock. And initially, Al Ewing was doing like the Eddie Brock cosmic god story. And then I think Ram V was doing like the Dylan Brock coming of age, becoming the Venom story. And it didn't really work out very well. But for some reason, maybe because they had this planned out, they just kept chugging along, even though the story wasn't working out that well, and Ram V ended up quitting, and then they brought in Torben Grunbeck, I guess, to replace him. But then you start adding like an Erica Schultz to the story, not a very good writer. Kevin Scott, absolutely terrible writer. It doesn't matter if he's writing Star Wars novels or comic books. The guy just is not a very good storyteller whatsoever. And then, of course, the coup de grace of crappiness is Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing making their debut on Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man Venom War or whatever it is, because anything that's going to be an event that's going to be successful has to have a tie-in to Amazing Spider-Man somehow. But those two jabronis are going to be doing the Spider-Man book, and that's basically how you kill off interest or the ability for anyone to want to actually read the entirety of the Venom War story. If you like Al Ewing, stick with Venom War. If you don't mind Torben Grunbeck, go read the Venom series. But I would say steer clear, stay far away from all the tie-ins, because they put a lot of just really crappy writers. Unfortunately, when you look at the writers that Marvel does have at their disposal at the moment. It's just a bunch of shitty writers. So I guess they just decided to take Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and throw them in the book this time. And yeah. So there you go. If you were excited about Venom War, I would cage the excitement about it being like a big, full sweeping thing that you're going to want to fully invest in. Be smart. Avoid Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing. Avoid the Erica Schultz story. Avoid Kevin Scott. Key in on the creators that you actually like, with the one part of the story that even has a probability of being good, that being Venom War itself. So big things popping from Marvel Comics. Great news. Rob Liefeld on Deadpool again with Deadpool Team-Up. Should be a whole lot of fun writing and illustrating that one. We've got the 50th anniversary celebration of Iron Fist, which is really interesting because if you remember, they had the 50th anniversary of Luke Cage, the first ongoing superhero book from Marvel or DC to feature a black superhero, Power Man himself, and they did nothing. They had one series that was supposed to come out. They canceled it, I think about 6 weeks before it was supposed to release, because apparently it wasn't going to work out very well. I think it was going to be controversial. And they just said, you know what, fuck it. Who cares about Luke Cage Power Man? But at least they didn't forget about Iron Fist. A little bit strange there. But I am happy to see Luke Cage and Iron Fist will be together for Heroes for Hire. And then finally, you've got Venom War and those details, which don't sound all that great. If you would like more conversations about this kind of stuff and you can't get enough of Thinking Critical YouTube, you can actually support us on Thinking Critical Patreon. And in return, we give you lots of extra bonus stuff in the form of podcasts with all of your favorite guests on the channel. Doc, Jim from Weird Science, Aaron Sparrow, yours truly. If you would like to support us on Patreon, we're going to give back. And there's a link in the video description if you want to check it out.